Good day, everyone. I am Chirlyn Revilla along with my groupmates, Miss Princess Limel Bachar and Miss Gwen Mika Tamayo. We are the Group 3 and we were assigned with the topic Marine Life Zones.
The marine life zones. So what is the marine life zones? The marine life zones is also known as the ocean zones or oceanic zones and are divisions of the ocean based on different environmental and biological factors such as depth, light penetration, temperature, and pressure. These zones are characterized by distinct conditions that influence the type of organisms that can survive there. First is the intertidal zone. This biome is found along the shoreline where the ocean meets the land. It experiences regular fluctuation in water level due to tides and is characterized by the presence of organisms adapted to both terrestrial and aquatic environments such as the barnacles, mussels, and crabs. The Neretic Zone. The Neretic Zone extends from the intertidal zone to the edge of the continental shelf, typically to depths of around 200 meters. It is relatively shallow and receives abundant sunlight, supporting diverse communities of marine life including coral reefs, kelp forest, and seagrass meadows. So the coral reef biome the coral reef are found in warm and shallow waters within the Neretic zone, typically in tropical and subtropical region. They are characterized by diverse coral communities that create complex habitat for a wide variety of marine life, including fish, vertebrates, and algae. Around 90% of the world's coral reef occur in the Indo-West Pacific biogeographic region, and the temperature in this biome is usually around 700 degrees to 85 degrees. The oceanic zone encompasses the open ocean beyond the continental shelf, extending to the abyssal plains and oceanic trenches. It is divided into several vertical layers, including the epipelagic, mesopelagic, bathypelagic, abyssopelagic, and hadalpelagic zones. Each zone has its unique environmental conditions and species adaptations. Epipelagic zone is also known as the sunlight zone or the euphotic zone. It is the uppermost layer of the ocean extending from the surface down around 200 meters deep. So here are some of the key organisms that inhabits this zone: the phytoplankton, zooplankton, fishes, marine mammals like the dolphins, seals, sea lions, and others, and sea turtles. Mesopelagic zone, also known as the twilight zone. It is oceanic layer located between the epipelagic zone above and the bathypelagic zone below. It typically extends from about 200 meters to 1,000 meters deep. So the organisms that live here are the lanternfish, the viper fish, luminescent cephalopods such as the squids and octopus, as well as gelatinous zooplankton like the jellyfish and salps. The pelagic zone, also known as the midnight zone, it is a layer of the ocean that lies between approximately 1,000 meters and 4,000 meters below the surface. It is one of the deepest layers of the oceanic environment and is characterized by complete darkness, extreme cold temperatures, and high pressure. So the organisms that lives here are the lanternfish, anglerfish, and gulper eels, jellyfish and comb jellies, shrimp, squid, and octopus, and microbial life. Mesopelagic zone comes from the Greek word abyss, which means no bottom. It is the deepest layer of the oceanic environment extending from approximately 4,000 meters down to about 6,000 meters below the surface. It is less explored by the scientists because it is so deep. The most common characteristics of species that live in this zone includes slow metabolic rates, slow consumption, flexible stomachs, large mouth, and bioluminescence. The hadapelagic zone, also known as the trenches, it is the deepest part of the ocean, encompassing the oceanic trenches that extends beyond 6,000 meters below the surface. Despite the inhospitable nature of this environment, a variety of organisms have adapted to thrive in hadapelagic zone. Some of the most notable inhabitants include deep-sea amphipods, giant isopods, abyssal fish species, and unique types of bacteria and archaea.
So now let's proceed sa atong utilization of resources. So here we have Republic Act number 8550 or the Philippine Fisheries Code of 1998. This act provides for the development, management, and conservation of fisheries and aquatic resources in the Philippines, including marine life zones. So it aims to ensure the rational and sustainable development, management, and conservation of fishery and aquatic resources in the Philippine waters, including the Exclusive Economic Zone or the EEZ, while maintaining a sound ecological balance and protecting the environment. The key environment agency in charge of monitoring and implementation is the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or the BFAR, under the Department of Agriculture. Next, we have Executive Order number 292, or the Administrative Code of 1987. So this was issued by President Corazon C. Aquino on July 25, 1987. So this executive order outlines the President's authority to issue orders related to the management and utilization of marine resources, including those within marine life zones. So, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or the DENR, plays a key role in the environment impact assessment and permitting process for projects affecting marine ecosystems. Next, we have the Presidential Decree number 979, providing for the revision of Presidential Decree number 600 governing marine pollution. So, this Presidential Decree establishes regulations and enforcement mechanisms to address marine pollution, which is a significant concern for the health of marine life zones. And the Philippine Coast Guard is the primary agency responsible for the monitoring and implementation of this decree.
As we all know, pollution is the harmful materials that can damage the environment. According to Conter Ferris, a company that explains oceanic pollution, 88% of the ocean surface is polluted by plastic, waste, and everything else, and 13% of this is considered untouched. There are actually many types of marine pollution, 20 to be exact, but we will tackle about these four main ones. The first one in the type of pollution is plastic pollution. Accumulation of plastic debris poses threat to marine life, entanglement, and endangeration. The next one is chemical pollution. Runoff from land introduce chemicals into the marine ecosystem, contaminating the effects of marine organisms and their food chains. The next pollution is oil pollution. Oil spill harm marine life and the ecosystem. This last-longing effect on marine habitat and biodiversity destroys a lot of marine life. The next one is noise pollution. Anthropogenetic noise disrupts marine animal communication. It impacts in navigation, feeding, and reproduction. Impacts of pollution: habitat destruction, species decline, human health risk, and economic losses. In conclusion, addressing marine population is essential to safeguarding the health and sustainability of our ocean and coastal communities. Urgent action is needed to migrate plastic, chemical, oil, and noise pollution to protect marine ecosystem for future generation.